In its original form, I guess my dad was farming here. He moved here in 1957. He was in construction. He and his brother, and they always farmed part-time. Of course, back then, everybody farmed part-time. Dad and his brother built houses, and then he decided he wanted to get out of the housing business. So he started farming full-time. So I grew up with it. I mean, I was 4 years old when we moved out here. But that's I guess how it started. Just kind of grew from there.
I started working on the farm when I was a kid. When I turned 13, my parents became contractors for a seed corn company that did detasseling work. So I started working on the detasseling crew when I was 13, and then I did that through my senior year of high school.
Pretty much grain farming is what I've grown up with, although we did get back in livestock here about 4 years ago. Mom said when I was a baby, even in a diaper, before I could walk, I would crawl out and get on an old tractor and sit out there in the sun. She'd have to come out and pry my fingers off the steering wheel. I remember one time when we were young and in college, my cousin was in dental school, and he got almost all the way through and he dropped out. He just had more than he could take. He said one time, and I never forgot, he said, "I always admired you." He said, "You always knew what you wanted to do." And I guess I always just took that for granted. I mean, I just grew up knowing I wanted to farm, and you look back and you wonder what life would have been had you gone into business. And sometimes I think there's times I could have made more money in business, but nobody would pay me what I thought I was worth. So I'm happy. The great part about this is we get to farm with our family. I'm here every day with my family, and I come home every night, and I'm here most of the time for lunch. Life is good. It's a slice of American pie that I wish everyone could share.
I would say my dad inspired me to get in the ag business. He has made a lot of improvements, from a financial standpoint on the farm operation. When my grandfather and dad were farming, it was really tough financially. We never inherited any farm ground, and we didn't have that benefit that a lot of multi-generational farmers have.
It was a tough struggle. I mean, even though Dad started farming and I grew up in that environment, there were a lot of hard times. I mean, back in the early 80s, we were all but essentially officially bankrupt. Honestly, when interest rates went to 19.5%, Dad had overextended. He sold this farm at home and bought one in Texas, and that was just a very difficult financial time. So, I think we spent about the next 10 years just trying to make a living. We didn't make any money above what we made for a living, and kids were little, and we started looking for ways to put the kids through college. So we started detasseling corn, and we did that for 7 or 8 years. Well into detasseling, I saw an opportunity with tomatoes, and so we started doing that. And so that's really kind of what got us on our feet, was tomatoes. There was an opportunity to start farming, but beyond that, there wasn't any old money that traditionally you would expect to have in a multi-generational business. And hopefully I can save Justin some ire when it comes to that, but I don't want him to rest on what I've done. I want him to take it and make it bigger. I hope it's 3 times the size before he retires, but it'll be his to do with as he wishes. I don't care.
I work on the farm because I enjoy it. I enjoy working with my dad, and I enjoy working with the people that are here. Every day is different. You wake up every day thinking, how are we going to do things better than we did the day before? And so it's a continuous improvement process.
Oh gosh, I wish I could live another lifetime. It's just now getting me fun. I guess we've reached critical mass, I think. All my life I've worked for that. In my mind, I got a vision of what it could be, but again, that'll be Justin's life to live and his choice to make, and it'll be his team to drive, so we'll see what he makes out.
The future is very fuzzy. It's cloudy. It's hard to know what's coming down the road. I have 4 kids. My sister has 3. I would like to continue to grow the farm to have an opportunity for the next generation. My desire is I have a couple, at least 1 or 2 that want to come back to the farm, but I'm going to encourage them to pursue what they're passionate about. The last thing I want to do is have any one of my kids or my nephews or niece come back to the farm doing something out of obligation. I want them to come back because they're excited about it. That's their passion.